What are you using, you weirdo?
I am the storm that is approaching through haunting black clouds in isolation. I am reclaimer of my name. For in flame, I have been blessed. My family crashes a demon of death.
Destroyed. Okay, let's get a few things out of the way first of all. The Storm Curve Sword has always had a bad rap. It seems, especially in recent years, that many people have all but forgot about the Storm Curve Sword, which is actually understandable. Its other kin are nerfed to shit and completely useless in modern meta. Save for a few situations like shield users, you know, the whole assassin setup with the Karthus Shotel, stuff like that. But even setups like that heavily rely on the offstock to cause their main body of damage. In this video, I aim to slow or stop the abandonment of heavy curved swords in modern day meta, mainly by breathing new life into, in my opinion, the best heavy curved sword, the Storm Curve Sword. To many long-time players, this might sound ridiculous. Why not choose something like Follower's Saber that has a guard break, an infinite, an extremely useful weapon art? But as you've seen in the sort of self-masturbatory montage that I just displayed to you, you can do work with the Storm Curve Sword. There's techs you can pull off with it, its range is incredible. But before I start rattling off all the positives about this weapon, unfortunately for you, a little history lesson is in order.
I am the storm that is approaching.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Soul, and today we're going to be doing a strategy guide for the Storm Curve Sword. So without taking up any more time, let's get right into the moveset.
In 2016, the Storm Curve Sword was getting no love. Why use a Storm Curve Sword when a Karthus Curve Sword could kill somebody in 2 combos? Still, those who dedicated themselves to playing with the weapon noticed its length. Its R1 speed was drastically faster than it is today. Seriously, it was as fast as a Pontiff Knight Curve Sword. The larger Dark Souls community was crying out for this weapon to get a buff. Little did they know, but at this time, 2016, this sword was the best in the game, by far. Unwittingly, this YouTuber, Soul, had just discovered an infinite off of a curved sword R1. Let me repeat, after one curved sword R1, faster than it is today, about as fast as a Pontiff Knight curved sword, mind you. After one R1, it would infinite you, all the way down to 0 health.
The combo for this weapon is R1, L2, R1, L2, R2. The stun lock for the initial L2 is long enough for you to get a whole nother R1, L2, R2 combo in, which I think is insane. The L2s on this weapon use almost no stamina, which is kind of crazy as you can almost always get this full combo off even after excessive rolling.
This infinite, however, was never taken to popularity because 2 weeks after this video was released, they patched out. Slowly, after many patches, all aimed at removing the good properties from heavy curved swords, the Storm Curved Sword fell into obscurity. Nerfed into the fucking ground, along with the Casters Curved Sword. It received a reasonable boost in exposure by videos by Prod and Chase the Bro, but other than that, it was completely obscure, and you would never, ever see it in competitive fights. Well, here I am to correct your goofy R.
Storm Curve Sword forever. It's better than PK. It's better than Murky. It's the most
step
metal
right,
weapon. You can kill Assassin with it. Fuck.
Okay, so it might not be as good as PK, or as good as Murky. It might not really even be a meta weapon. But unfortunately for you, okay, let's get into the important stuff.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a true combo. 1, 2, 3. That looked pretty solid.
Now, heavy curve swords. Every meta player will tell you that it is so much better one-handed. This is a special case though. Its range and its combo potential both skyrocket the two-handed moveset into an actual usable weapon. The one-handed weapon is perfectly usable. In fact, as you can see from this frame data, it has about the same recovery as a two-handed small curve sword. One-handed, that is. And it starts faster one-handed than the one-handed R1 of a straight sword. And as you can see, the R1s from a one-handed stance have incredible range, absolutely incredible range. And similar to other heavy curve swords, it actually has a longer range when it is one-handed rather than two-handed. The one-handed variant also enjoys a faster cancel rather than the two-handed version. This will only give you a small advantage in PvP, but still, outspeeding a straight sword is nothing to shake a stick at.
With the Storm Curve Sword as well, you can combo the R1 into a weapon up.
I might actually get it, get my saber to like the regular Carpus one.
Oh yeah, that's the caveat. I forgot to mention that R1 only combos into the weapon art if somebody doesn't block. There's also another caveat. Like if I hit you from here, if I hit you from maybe here, and the first gust of wind, the first unreactable bit doesn't hit you, then the thing doesn't combo, so you can roll out of it. So if you do that at a certain distance, it's not going to be a true combo.
I see.
Because of the general unreliability of this combo, you will often find good players trying to spam roll out of your first R1. So a staggered R1 can be very effective in catching their roll. Freeing up your offhand also means that you can use a Black Knight shield, which is, well, it's always good against physical builds. But now that I've done singing the praise of the one-handed moveset, I'm gonna confuse your monkey brains by explaining that the two-handed moveset is probably just as good as the one-handed. If you're a meta player, you're probably raising your eyebrow right now. Like, what? What's the use in even having a two-handed heavy curve sword? It's easier to react than a one-handed heavy curve sword, and to boot, it has a longer recovery. The saving grace of this moveset is the R2s and the backswing. Unlike the one-handed moveset, the two-handed moveset has a wide sweeping arch on both its R1 and its second R1. This means it can be dead angled to achieve earlier attack frames. This also means the second R1 will catch people more often than not in its backswing. There is almost no recovery between the R2 and the R1s, meaning the sword appears to ping back into an R1 after an R2 is placed down. Anyone hoping to punish the whiffed R2 will surely get stuck in a flurry of R1s. R2s can be used locked off for a bait or locked on for a bait. in a similar sort of playstyle to a greatsword. The R2s are also deceptively long.
What was that range, you fucking...
In fact, you'll also find yourself getting max range punishes very often, purely because of the length of this blade. To add on to all of those positives, the combo potential on the two-handed Storm Curve Sword is nutty. Look at this man. He was not expecting almost 800 damage out of a 375 AR little curve sword.
There's actually a pseudo combo, so you do this. Oh, hold on a sec, I didn't block between it. So you block between the first L2. You have to, what is it, panic roll afterwards. So if you panic roll after the first...
I see. Okay, how much damage did that do?
That actually did 630 damage.
That's ridiculous, bro.
Using it two-handed, the R1 will combo into the weapon art, and it will combo more often into the weapon art because you are usually closer. Not only that, but the two-handed R2 will combo into the weapon art.
I see. Yeah, no, that's definitely a true combo.
Really? Okay. Okay.
No,
Okay, lovely. Lovely, okay.
As you can see from this parry punish test, you get an early hit from the gust of wind. These small hits accumulating throughout the attack means that even though the shield has block frames, you can't roll out of the attack. In that sense, it almost is comparable to an unparryable Gundyr charge. The early hit frames are unreactable, and it's the reason why the Storm Curve Sword R1 will combo into its weapon art, whereas the Kartha Shotel, for example, will not.
Well, like, the only thing that I really have a problem with, like, the hits and everything is okay. But, like, what you mentioned with the L2, right? So, wait, are you, like, telling me that that thing is almost, like, unreaction, like, rollable? Wait, do it again. Randomly do it from time to time, without me telling it. Yeah, that is not reaction rollable. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, that is definitely not reaction roll. What you're basically doing, bro, I'm not even kidding, you're fucking pre-hitting.
The weapon art also has active hitboxes all around the character, all the way around the side, and directly behind the character, making it almost, I'd wager to bet, absolutely impossible to fish. The incredibly fast speed of the weapon art means that if you predict an enemy or their attack and read them properly, you can microspace their attack and then instantly punish them with the weapon art. Because you can free aim the weapon art, it gives you license to be more tight and precise with your spacing. This free aim also allows you to do a tech that goes through shields.
What do you mean?
Oh yeah, I still gotta show you the tech. Hold on. Grab that Black Knight shield.
Oh my god, you're kidding me. Wait, can you actually go around that?
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
yeah.
way.
Lock onto me. Hold up.
Yeah. Tech video.
There we go!
No way, that's actually crazy.
Tech video!
Majestic, isn't it? I call it the blowjob. After the first gust, the locked-on shield user is basically frozen in place, allowing you to slide yourself across the shield and reach his back. If that wasn't enough to convince you of this weapon art's validity, it goes straight through tears. If you have tears on, it has so many hitboxes, it's likely if your health bar was emptied by the weapon art, your tears are coming with you. Don't be fooled by the B-scaling in dexterity of this weapon, as if this weapon would have any good scaling. It is, surprisingly enough, a quality weapon, with soft caps of 27 and 40 respectively. So now that you know, don't do any crazy shit like taking your build all the way to 80 dexterity. You will get no AR from doing that. You will get no more AR. It is almost hilarious how bad this weapon scales. If you want an extremely damaging Corvian swap and a Gundyr wake up, then the 40-40 build is for you. However, with the 27 or 26 to 40 build, nothing is off the table. You can go for a Faith and Regen spec if you'd like to. You can pump all the rest of your points into Vitality, maybe pump all the rest of your points into Vigor or Endurance. It's really up to you. There are benefits to doing either type of build. Personally, I like the 40-40 build just because I am a big hard swapper, but I doubt you'd be looked down upon for taking the 27 to 40 build, except by me. Exploit this weapon's range to the max. It is the second longest two-handed curved sword, second only to the Pontiff because we can't have nice things. It is, however, the longest one-handed curved sword and has the longest running attack of any curved sword. The Storm Curved Sword also has a higher than average motion value for its running attack. So if you've been picking up what I've been putting down, basically use the one-handed and two-handed moveset and do a lot of running attacks. The fishers of the world, it pains me to say this, but you have been dealt the short end of the stick on this one. It's probably not very optimal to go for a fishing playstyle whilst using this weapon, especially given that you can create wake-up opportunities just by using the weapon art. The motion values just look too ridiculously low for me to say that it's worth going for backstabs. If you want to try it, be my guest. You're a braver man than me. The final tip is, don't play with it like it's a PK. It's a new beast. Use the unreactable weapon art to create pressure. Use the R2s to roll catch. The R1s are not as optimal as the PK Vortex. The heavy curved sword R1s are much slower. The R1s on both the one-handed and the two-handed are relatively easy to reaction roll. You have so much less priority, it's just more optimal to use the full moveset. A reaction roll catch is still relatively easy, it's just the pressure of the R1s from the PK. It's just almost impossible to recreate with this weapon. Keep the weapon art in your back pocket for an unreactable attack. It will create a stark contrast to your more reactable R1s. And that'll be the video. In the description there are resources, documents I've used, just generally useful stuff. Special thanks to Watermelonly. He definitely helped with a lot of testing, a lot of combo testing, parry testing, stun testing. He was just my test dummy for everything. So yeah, thank you very much, Melonly. And thank you for watching. Genuinely, this took a very large chunk of my time. So I hope you picked up this weapon, and I hope you had fun watching it. Leave a fat motherfucking like.